ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the CoinGeek Weekly Livestream. I am your host, Mr. Kurt Wookert Jr., as energetic as ever, making sure everything works. A little bit dust. This is why, I used to wear a lot of black shirts, and then every time I put a black shirt on and then go live, I'm covered in hair or something. It's kind of a everyone in my house except me has blonde hair also, so then it's boom, right there. So happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining. Tell your friends that we're live, and subscribe, hit the alert bell. You must let our digital overlords know that you do indeed wish to consume the content, or else they won't know, and then they won't tell the bots and the creeps and the cretins and everybody else that it's time. I don't know. The internet is so weird now. I keep getting I'm like this internet native person, right? I love the internet, and I also hate it at the same time, which I guess is probably typical. You get involved in the culture of a place, and then you want to help make it better and make it fun for everybody, and then it's a giant struggle. So before I start ranting, I want to thank our sponsors. So let's give a shout out to RockWallet.com if you need a wallet that is capable of holding in a non-custodial fashion your BTC, BCH, BSV, Ethereum stablecoins, and your money MNEE stablecoin. You're going to want to check out rockwallet.com. There are other wallets in the universe, which I'm sure we're going to talk about with our guest today, John Calhoun, but RockWallet was kind enough to support the show, and so we do indeed use RockWallet. The beauty of RockWallet is that you do have non-custodial access to your coins. You control your keys, but you also have the ability to exchange within the wallet, which is one of those things that it's so convenient. Even though exchanging in the wallet in and of itself, it is a fundamentally more expensive way to do it, it's just so stinking easy. And so if you want to do it there, it's I could sign up for an account and pass KYC and send my coins over here and hope they don't rug me, and then make my exchange and save a little bit of, but it's when you can just kind of click and do it, and it's just done in 5 minutes. It's easier. So thank you, RockWallet, for making our lives easy. I'm not just shilling it. I am actually a user. Also, Gorilla Pool was a user of RockWallet before they ever sponsored the show, and so it's a whole thing. This is me being authentic, everybody. So if you're watching, I appreciate you watching, and I do need you to tell your friends to also watch, because our guest today is he's one of the good ones. Not everybody is a good one. There's a lot of weird ones out there. There are even some bad ones out there. I don't typically have bad ones on the show, but John is specifically one of the good ones. And so we're going to be talking about how to make the world a better place through social media, grandiosity, and owning your data, and all of that stuff. Kind of the things that we keep trying to solve in the universe, but we're going to do it in Xanadu, I think. So you're going to want to buckle in for this one, because we're going to talk a little bit about the history of blockchain social media and why it matters, and maybe a little bit of suggestion into how to make things better, faster, cheaper, grander, safer for the universe, or whatever else. I have such mixed emotions about this, because every time somebody comes up with a new cool social network, I'm like, this is it. This is the thing that's going to be great. And then I end up just spending time on X or Facebook or whatever. And it's how do I get my grandma onto Xanadu so I can post pictures of my kids, and then grandma can see it, and all of this other stuff. So there's a lot of tangled incentives into the Zuckerberg, Dorsey, Musk universe that I don't love, but I also don't hate enough to leave. And that's the weird one, right? How do I get on the Mayflower and say bye to England forever and go, starve to death for a couple of years in Plymouth Plantation before we figure out how to raise our own corn? That's a very American reference to my British friends, who probably irritated with me at all times. So thanks for watching, everybody. Subscribe, hit the alert bell, all that jazz. We are going to cut to a commercial. I'm going to stop talking. Oh, I forgot to say, check my article, my pinned post on X. Of course, I'm going to talk about X before we go talk about Xanadu. Check my article at CoinGeek.com. I talk a little bit about the flat Earth conspiracy and how it may or may not be good for the PSV community, which may or may not be a community also, and then a bunch of other stuff. I talk a little bit about MK Ultra, talk a little bit about Project Mockingbird, talk a little bit about the Tuskegee experiments, and all kinds of other stuff. Like lots of conspiracies are real. I'm a firm. Lots of the ones that aren't proven, I'm a big fan of. Also, I still really don't like the flat Earth conspiracy for two reasons. I'm going to bring John on to talk about this a little bit after the ad too, but flat Earth drives me nuts. There are two reasons for it. I don't understand what the incentives are. So you'd have to convince millions of people to engineer everything wrong and then also keep the lie that the Earth is what it is or isn't and all of that. And then to what end, right? Like, so who's benefiting from having everybody be, tricked about the globe thing? And then also, it's just math, and that really bugs me too. So I think it's like the double psyop. This is where I'm at with it. It's to make people look so gullible that then it undermines the validity of all the other conspiracies, a lot of which are very true and verifiable, and I think are really problematic. So there it is. All the flat earthers hate me again. And but you should read my article because there is a way to solve this with BSV specifically. We can get rid of the problem of bad conspiracy theories and only focus on the good ones by solving them economically. That's it. That's the end of my rant. Read my article. There's a gorilla in it with a third eye. So that's fun too. So enjoy that, everybody. I'm going to take a little breather. I'm going to drink one sip of water, and then we will be right back. John, welcome back to the show. How are you, my friend?
Hey, Kurt, thank you so much for having me. It's always a really good time joining the show and talking to you. And people have come and gone, but you've been here, man. So I'm excited to hear your suggestions and stuff like that, and see where the convo goes.
Staying power, man. That's so key. And I tell everybody, like, it's not, nobody is necessarily better at anything than anybody else, but the people who you remember are the people that just didn't quit. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So, and you're one of those guys too, man. You've been here a long time, and sometimes quiet and sometimes very active. You've been super active in 2025. So kudos to you for banging out cool stuff. Maybe let's start there. Like, what encouraged you to say, you know what, I'm going to put myself in the race for Dev of the Year 2025, John?
Yeah, honestly, I think being at the hackathon in Austin, Texas, and meeting everyone, I like to build things before, and but once I got my hands on the tech and met the people building it and involved. I think it was a no-brainer, right? Like it truly is like freedom tech, right? For like building like self-sovereign, networks, individuals, stuff like that. So, the world needs it, right? Like the transparency and the truth. So,
100%.
if the world that you want to live in, you need to create. And being in that room in Austin, Texas, I know you were there. It was pretty moving. So, looking to continue the momentum into 2026.
Same, man. I love it. Let's start. What's your catalog here? You got Thrill Arcade. You've been working on. I know you've been working with people on some of the other things going on, like starting at that hackathon and stuff too. What else are you involved in? And then we'll talk about Xanadu.
Yeah. So we have Thrill Arcade, which is a arcade where every entry is an entry into a fair lottery on chain. And then we have Tool BSV, which is you pay per prompt. We have text generation, image generation, video generation. And then now we also have Xanadu, which we're about to get into. All of these are my brother and I. Matt was also at the hackathon
Yep.
in April, and we have stuff in the back burner, and we're just always cooking up stuff, and it's fun. And the tech stack's made it super easy, and all these tools such as Claude Code and Codex, stuff like that,
Yeah.
has turned one or two people into maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 people. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little too over dramatic, but
Yep.
um, you know, maybe use the products and maybe you'd agree or disagree. But
Yep. For sure. So Xanadu, why do we need another social network? Let's start there. Like there's got to be a why. I
yeah,
love the why. I'm it's one of those things where
absolutely.
it's like you get a new girlfriend and it's like this time it's going to work, right? And then
Yeah.
so why do we need what why do people keep poking at this bear and saying like we need a social network that is built with blockchain technology? And then let me know also what is on chain, what is some other off chain thing that's happening, and also maybe what's the name first. Let's start with why is it Xanadu, and then what
Yep.
problem are you solving?
Okay. So the name Xanadu comes from a little bit of word spelling play with Project Xanadu by Ted Nelson, which is his vision that on the web. And he came out with this, I believe, before the internet, right? That
Mhm.
one day you would be able to link, maybe what you're posting about, and you want to reference something else, and it's sort of like a side by side comparison.
Mhm.
Um, and he talked about immutable links, right? And it's just a better way to like read. It's better for conversations, right? He compared it to the Bible or the Calumet, right, hundreds of thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
So that's where the name came from. So we spell it Zanaadu.
Yep. I love it. Every time I think Xanadu, I think of the disco song also. So then that's stuck in my head. But so why?
Yep.
Why do we need? I mean, we've got tree chat. You can do social networks on other blockchains. We had Twitch, I think, which was probably it's funny because almost universally, like you can even talk to people from other blockchains, be like, yeah, no, Twitch was awesome. I know you were involved. I don't know exactly at what level you were involved, but guys like you and Lex and some of the other people that were involved is how much of an inspiration was Twitch, and then but the why. Let's start with why. Why do we need
Yeah,
a social network?
absolutely. So I think, there's two social medias, right? There's a Web 2 social media and then a Web 3 social media. And I think this is an improvement on both. Like for starters, Twitter, right, or X.
Yep.
Um, the algorithm changes all the time. The rules, you don't know what the rules are going to be in a year. Um, and the payouts are not transparent at all. You don't know who's getting paid. In fact,
Yep.
maybe Elon's trying to find another baby mama or something, right? So,
Yeah, he's only got like
but
14 kids. That's not enough. So
absolutely, and maybe he sells it again, and the next person that owns it wants to ban you, or
right.
maybe you're short Tesla, or you're building unlimited scaling blockchain, and he wants to limit your account or ban you. So that's like sort of like the upgrade from Web 2, right? Is like it's transparent, um, permissionless, right? It goes into an overlay. And the reason why it's sort of like a Web 3 upgrade, right, is this came from like the BRC 100, and Ty Everett has a video on the Project Babbage YouTube
Yep.
channel. I think it's called No More Walled Gardens or something like that, right? And
Yep.
it, I think we talked about this last time, but it's
We
important that
did.
when we build things such as wallets, right, or even a social media app that, um, God forbid something happens to me or somebody else, and and if that happens, right, the wallet's gone, the social media app's gone, there's no one there to maintain it, right? Like we need to be building things for stuff for after you're gone. And
Yep.
the reason why BRC 100 and the overlay stuff have you the ability to do this is it's basically a tech stack that sort of distributes all the data into many places. It's So, for instance, the wallet itself, right? You have an identity. There, you could stand up the identity server yourself. You could connect to Project Babbage's, and that's where your wallet and all your UTXOs are. So you have the ability to sort of like duplicate your wallet instance across different servers, right? And you can do this for backend data and your wallet data. Well, for backend data and stuff as well. So that's what the overlay is. And
Mhm.
the reason why that's important is because anybody can run an overlay, right? The smart contracts, they're going to be open source. They're going to be put on GitHub. So is the overlay implementation that I took from Project Babbage. But um, anyone can run this overlay. What does that mean? You can duplicate all the data that's on Xanadu, put it on your own server, and
Yep.
on top of that, you can build transactions from your own instance of Xanadu, your own implementation of Xanadu. Maybe you wanted to call it Twetch, all right? Maybe you wanted to call it True Chat.
Yeah.
And why is that important, right? They would be submitting their data to their overlay. My overlay instance would sync with their overlay instance, right? So now we're all sharing data, right? Now Tree Chat,
Yep.
now Twetch, now Xanadu, all of our data is on one overlay instance. Um, and this benefits the user, this benefits competition, right? Because instead of implementing identity, implementing backend stuff, right? Like we're all sharing the same data, and it's truly like a true hyper competition, like at the user's benefit. And um, yeah, like maybe Twitch comes back and they start running these overlays and they outcompete me,
Sure.
right? And I love that I own the BSV, right? So if let's succeed together, right?
Right. Yeah, that's the equity. It's not necessarily the business itself or the walled garden you're creating or the data that you intend to sell or whatever else. But no, I love that, and I think at the most basic level, that's why I always get excited about it, because I say the same thing. It's like I want to leave Facebook. I would love to close my account and all this stuff, but like I have an international group of friends and family who I don't want to keep all their phone numbers and then create some kind of group chat and then upload, just whatever. Like I like the ability to sort of passively communicate with people. I'll post a picture of my kid, coming and doing jujitsu with me and my wife or whatever, and then great aunt from Poland or something is like, oh, this is adorable. And it's like I would have forgotten to have sent that to her, but the fact that she can sort of passively interact with it is the benefit there. And I think that was the brilliance of that business model too, is that I remember Zuckerberg saying that, it was his goal that the world would live on Facebook. And I think in a lot of ways he was very successful doing that,
mhm.
such that even somebody like me who's critical of him and his business and all this other stuff, and was like, yeah, but I'm going to use the product. And it's kind of the same as, anybody, all these people that like hate Elon Musk because he's whatever, he's a what's with all the 6 7s in the chat, man? Bruno, you're killing me here. Okay. but, uh, but I look at it and say, it's like, what, the guy, I'm going to use the product because I like the product, just like the people that hated Elon Musk because of Doge and Trump and all this other stuff. Like you see the Teslas driving around. I live in the one liberal county in Florida, and like all the people have the Tesla, but a sticker on the back saying, I bought this before Elon was the bad guy or whatever. And I'm just like, man, the virtue signaling on these people.
Yeah.
Um, but if all of that was portable, and this is going to get to my advice here, is that if it was portable, I would leave Facebook. If I could use some other client, if there was a Xanadu client for Facebook data, for example, and if I
Mhm.
could post essentially to Facebook without having to utilize Facebook, if there was a two-way bridge essentially between the on-chain data and the Facebook data, which Facebook is never going to do because then their business would go away.
Yeah.
But I think that's the real sauce there. And
So
I remember saying this about Twetch too, because they created the bridge where you could tweet from Twetch, or you could Twetch that on a tweet and push it onto Twetch so that it was immutable or whatever on the blockchain. And like that was good. Both of those things are good. What was lacking was the fact that Twitter had an open API at the time and it was free to use. And so if Twitch also is just a distinct client, or if I could just use Twitter entirely through Twitch, but then monetize it there.
Mhm.
I mean, imagine if I could just delete my Twitter client and never browse to twitter.com again. If I was just at twitch.com and was able to see my feed, see my friends, do all of that stuff. And every time I'd make a post, instead of saying, hey, you need to join Twitch because Twitch is cool, you'd say, hey, you could be monetizing your tweets right now using Twitch as the client. And so if there was a more integrated approach for those two networks to essentially become one network, I think it would have allowed them to gobble up the Twitter audience a lot more than they did. And they were quite successful at doing it anyway. So I think if there was that extra chunk there, I see the same thing with like Lament has spent 5 years trying to get people to like leave Instagram or leave OnlyFans or leave wherever they're trying to suck people away from. But the problem is that consistently like, hey, come here, you be this anchor person, come be the explorer. When instead, like there has to be some kind of integrated approach, and it would have worked with Twitter. It wouldn't work with Instagram and all this other stuff. But Twitter had that open API. X still has an open API, but now it's paid. So it's a bit of a bigger ask for the company. But I think if you were to do such a thing, I think you could absolutely turn Xanadu into an X. I'm just going to call it X Twitter now because it's funny, first of all, but also, but it works. So let me know if this is something you have considered or would consider. But if I could go to Xanadu.com and never go to X.com again, but be able to make my posts, and then when I make my post, I can say like post it through Xanadu client or whatever, but get people to come in and say, hey, this could be a monetized conversation if you would also join me at Xanadu.com. But I'm not stopping. You can still participate in my tweets. You can still do all these things. So let me know, what are your thoughts? Am I crazy? Is this something you've considered? Is this a roadmap item? Like where are we at on this?
I think it's a great idea. I think, in order to get people on like Web3, right? I do think we need like that like Web2 to Web3 bridge, like to get them over the highway, right? From like forest to forest or whatever. And I think that's a great idea. And I also think too, BSV is in an interesting spot to solve that, right? I think the most expensive part of that would be like the Twitter API itself.
Yeah,
but
almost certainly. Yeah.
Here on BSV though, you could, have your users pay per like feed fetch, right? Whether it's like 1/100th of a penny or something so it's economically feasible, right? But I think that's an excellent idea, and I'll for sure take a look into that. I think that API fee kind of scares me.
For sure. No, I get it.
But I
push
you
it,
know, I think
push
it's
it, push it
possible.
onto the user. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I would pay for that. Like, however, like I don't know how many posts I make in a year on X Twitter. It's probably 10,000 or something, but like however many API calls it is, maybe it's $50. Like I would pay you $50 if it's $50 to have my API calls connected to my Xanadu account and all of that. So
there you go. Future revenue.
Figure that part out. I would do that.
Okay. No, I really will take a look at that, right? And I think you brought up some good points with like Instagram and Facebook and when you share, like imagine, the database they're all pulling from is from the same database, and that's what this overlay stuff is. And um, you know, if all of if the likes and the replies and the posts are going into these overlays, you need to make sure, right, that you're upvoting the right post, and when you're upvoting the right post, that the payment is actually going to the creator, right? And if you have 6, 7, it's permissionless. If anyone wants to, build an app and construct a transaction and broadcast it to these overlays, anyone can. So you don't want to have to trust the platforms to build the transaction correctly. You don't want to trust them to pay the creator. You don't want to trust them to actually like connect the creator with the content hash. So what we did with our smart contracts, it's actually like Bitcoin network enforced, right? So the smart contract is actually ensuring that when you broadcast it, it's the payments going to the creator of the post as well as you're actually upvoting what you say you're upvoting, whether that's the content or whatnot. So we feel like that was important, right? So we don't have to trust the platforms anymore make the payments. It's all
Sure.
network enforced.
Cool. What is the underlying protocol? So I'm a big fan of Bitcoin schema, Gorilla
Mhm.
Pool. So I'm personal friends with Luke Roanaz, who built Bitcoin schema, which is based on schema.org, but Bitcoin schema um, basically it defines a bunch of ways to make the most simple and open way to publish data. Twetch used for social it's called Magic Attribute Protocol or MAP. Twetch used it. Tree Chat uses it, which is why they're able to drag stuff from Twetch onto Tree Chat and whatever. I'm
Mm.
curious, like what is the data object bucket that you guys are using for the sake of publication?
Yeah, so it is a smart contract, and I can let you know some of like the variables inside that smart contract that what they are and what and why we care. Like, okay, so the first one, that's most important is content. Okay, that's like the content variable. It's literally just like uh markdown format of the post, whether
Cool.
that's an image, right? If it's an image, it's the actual base 64 data of the image.
Nice.
You can include lists, bold, italics, so anything that, and I feel like in 2025, that's truly become like the universal language. AI can
Markdown.
understand it. Yeah,
Oh
absolutely.
yeah, no, 100%. I've
Hmm.
had like 10 meetings in the last 2 weeks about how like everything needs to be marked down. So
Yeah,
mostly because of like the AI revolution, but it's
yeah,
also like it's this huge thing that people are ignoring. Like everybody likes the rich internet experience, and it's like okay, but the
yeah.
bots don't. So
Exactly.
yeah,
You got it's not even about like you reading stuff anymore, right? Like you need to
yeah,
like AI is reading everything for you. It's almost like the middleman. You don't want it to
yep,
think for you or like be creative for you, but it's great at like summarizing stuff and
yeah.
explaining stuff for you. Um, where were we? I'm sorry.
Talking about so map in specific
Yes.
and like
Okay.
Bitcoin schema, but like how are you guys publishing? And maybe a suggestion again, can you make
Yeah.
it compatible with map? Because I'll tell
Yeah.
you right now, what we're building with Gorilla Pool is similar, but not just for social. Like I want all data graph on Bitcoin to be interoperable. And the
Hmm.
way that we're doing it is using map because it's the oldest available standard. And in my opinion is the simplest.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't want to not be able to play around with my friends because hey, this is all this way and this is all this way, and it's like okay, how do we all play in the same sandbox? Because we're all using the same database, but I'd hate for two different protocols to not be able to talk to each other. So
Good
please,
question. So I think, in this smart contract, there's the content hash, which is basically just like the hash of the content.
yep,
And there's tags, and there's like a version number of the smart contract, the creator
sure,
pub key, the creator identity key.
yep,
And when we throw out so the overlay, how it works is you construct this, this transaction with the smart contract. You have all these variables loaded. It validates that it's not breaking any of the rules. And after it broadcasts successfully, you actually like deconstruct the smart contract again to like extract all those variables out, like the version number. And
yep.
I'm not explaining this to you; I'm explaining this to your viewers.
No,
Um,
yeah,
uh,
yeah, no, I
yeah,
appreciate it. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. And so from there, like you can actually like enter all these into your database like that. So the mapping is sort of how would sort of like it's like a proof, right? So
mhm,
I would have to look at how the B map, like the B protocol. I remember the B protocol, the T
yep,
protocol, and
yep.
how those. It's pr- it's probably be to my benefit, right? To um, because then
In my
and
opinion, yeah, I think you should take a look at it because there's an integrated approach here where I know the people talk about like overlays versus indexers, and
mhm,
I think it is such a both and conversation. Like I am the
it
one
always
like and
depends.
exactly right. Like
Yeah.
the overlay does what the overlay does, but at the end of the day, like what you're serving to the user is still going to be sitting in an index database even if
Yeah.
it's on like so the overlay like the name implies is over the network, but
Mhm.
whatever you're serving like my client data, my profile, my whatever, that's sitting in a light database that is indexed and connected to all these other things, right? And so I always treat it like a both and approach. And so I I hate that there's any political conversation about it, because
Mhm.
both groups of people are going to be using both technologies to successfully deploy any app. So
For sure.
yeah,
And my one of the first classes I had in college for software engineering, he said IT stands for it depends. So uh,
yeah,
it always depends.
true.
And
Yeah,
what, yeah, like what are you building, right? Is it going to scale, and do you need it to scale? And that answer is always different for no matter what you're building. So
right.
um, it's always good to look at everything. I think for Xanadu, I think I really do like the overlay approach.
Mhm.
Um, and I would love to like have future conversations with like Tree Chat or Twitch, or just to like see if there's
Yeah,
any common footing there to share data, because I really do think that's how BSV wins, right? Like no more walled gardens. Like let's
yep.
compete, right? Like let's compete. I really want to make it easy for anyone to come and experience. And
Well,
it,
and
I mhm,
it's the robustness of the whole system, right? It's like I live in a town, and that town has neighborhoods, and we are able to all go to the grocery store that is in our common town. It doesn't matter if you're from that neighborhood or this one. Like we all need to buy, steak and potatoes at the same
yeah,
place. And like there are roads that join these things. And so I always found it very funny in BSV how much we talk about like open data and put all data on chain and this and that. And then, everybody's like, but I'm going to use this token protocol that's incompatible with everything else. And then, and it's like all these other things. And like, it's so like, to me, it's like such a simple thing to engineer,
mhm,
especially, I mean, you look at other blockchains, right? And it's like, oh, cool. Yeah, I'm just going to wrap that token on my network and then use it over here. And like, hey, now we're all friends again, right? And like, we have this weird like political I don't even know what it is actually. It's like this thing like, no, everybody needs to come to my network. And you get it between like the BTC and the ETH people.
mhm,
And like it's like, no, we're building this, lightning network is L2 over here. And it's like, well, yeah, but most quote unquote L2 BTC is actually sitting on Ethereum.
mhm,
So why not just use that for what you're using it for? And it's like, and the answer for why not is always a political one. It's not a technical one because it's already done.
yeah,
And then, so you just get like goofy people that are I think what it is actually is it's like a control monger thing. So all these people that think they're libertarians are actually like, no, 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 but I need to control the system, or
yeah,
else
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
be replaced. I'll have to work.
yeah. I think there's like two worlds right now in BSV, and I think they're gonna come together. And I think it's like sort of like this like token, like actual tokens on BSV through like indexers and stuff. And then
Yep.
I think there's like this BRC 100 overlay world, and I think they're
Mhm.
going to intertwine here because um, I think the token protocol, like the like tokens on BSV, like people have really enjoyed that on other chains,
Yep.
and um, everyone's talking about legality and stuff, and you can actually do it legally here on BSV, and BRC 100 is going to help with that, right? So that's why I
Yep.
think like when I say BRC 100, I'm talking about the certificates, right? Like if you
Yeah.
need to, if you want to, represent your company as shares of tokens or something and do it legally, right? You can only allow accredited investors and stuff like that. And on BSV, we can have these services to where you can verify you are, and whatever
Right.
checkboxes there. I don't, personally,
Yep.
me I have no inclination anytime soon to like turn these, products and tokens, right? Like there's no
Sure.
legal pathway for stuff. But I'm just saying, like in the future, I think this will, people will do it. It's for sure possible, and we'll be able to do it legally. So,
Yep. Love it. So let's talk very specifically about Xanadu now. Like, what's the? I admittedly haven't used it yet. I have two computers. I have one that I do all my like social media and my publishing and stuff on, and then I have my Bitcoin stuff computer. And so setting up another wallet means going on my other computer, and I haven't gotten to it.
all good.
but um, but I'm very excited to do it because I love these things and places and everything else. It's part of the reason why I don't jump on Tree Chat a ton is it's like, all right, I got to go on my other computer because that's where my wallet is set up for security reasons. But what's the culture? Who's there? Is there an emergent culture that's popping out of it already?
Yeah,
Maybe even like, I don't know if you'd be willing to do a screen share if you're prepared to do a screen share, but I'd love
that's what I'm
to
trying
have
to do
people
here.
see what it looks like. We can give you a second to see if that's something you want to do here.
See. Also share tab audio. No. Okay.
Cool.
Are you able to?
Yeah, I
Okay,
can
so I
put you
think.
on stage as long as
Okay, yeah,
you're ready to show.
I'm
Yep.
ready. I'm ready. Yep.
All right, here we go.
Thank you for the opportunity. Okay, so yeah, this is actually like beta.xanadu.com. Okay. Um, we have about almost 50 people in here now in the beta. You have to get whitelisted. If you want to get whitelisted, it's an easy process. Just DM me, DM Xanadu, right? Give Xanadu a retweet somewhere. That would for sure help. Get your MetaNet
Yep.
wallet, get metanet.com. But once you're here, right, there's a list view, there's a grid view, and let's see some of the top posts, right?
Just instant Craig.
Yeah, so
Craig,
people are posting
Craig,
these.
Craig as Hasidic man versus, or Craig as Anton Sugar from.
Yeah, I didn't post it, but it might be funny.
Yeah,
And you can see who upvoted it, and you can see how much
yeah,
that you can see the actual transaction if you want. Maybe you're
yeah,
be like money, US dollars better. But yeah, so you can post here, you can post simple. You want to
yep,
format in Markdown. We have the ability to do that.
cool,
And yeah, people are here, they're posting. I'd love for everyone to join. You can
yeah,
even check out your own profile. This is how you like import payments, right? People send you stuff, see stuff you
nice.
posted, replied, downvoted to recent activity. There's a Easter egg in here, okay? And if you tap this 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 times, um, it'll take you to the admin tools page where you can see um,
Ooh,
all of your transactions you've done on this app, right? Whether they're post, upvote, replies, downvotes, because after all, they are transactions, right? And um, so they're here and it says, is it spendable? Yes. Satoshi, yes. What does that mean? Um, we're locking the content of the data
mhm,
um, in the smart contract with the Satoshi, right? Like within the
mhm.
locking, like within the UTXO that the locking script's in. So I believe, I'm not sure, but I think that stops it from getting pruned. So if you wanted
If it's
to,
what does restate that, please?
yeah, the the Satoshi is locked in the UTXO that,
Yep.
and the data is within the locking script,
Mhm.
and it has been unspent. It hasn't
Okay.
been spent yet. So I think that
So
stops
it's
it
a
from getting
UTXO. Yeah,
pruned.
UTXO is not going to get pruned. So yeah.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, and right now, right, you lock one Satoshi in there. In the future, we want to, by launch in January, we want to allow the user to choose how much they're locking in there, and for a specified amount of time. Very similar to HODL Locker, right? I think they
Yep.
were very smart on saying there's a signal there, right? Like, hey, I'm locking up this amount of money for this amount of time. It's almost like you're paying for an ad or something, you know what I mean? And
Right. Yeah.
you
Yeah. Yeah.
can build another filter for that. And I think that's why Zen is cool too, right? Is if we have many different platforms having this overlay, I think everyone will have their own, unique algorithm. And I
Mhm.
think unlike Twitter, right, where you got to rely on theirs, I think users will be able to choose their platform based off of like the algorithm they like the best. And it's another sector where like these platforms can compete.
Yep. Cool.
But yeah, we got replies on there. We got a lot of really good suggestions. Um, I have like a file somewhere. I'm at, everything that's a suggestion. I'm taking it into heavy
Sure.
account. So
See, and right there, that's another one too. Like locking, but if so, implementing locking is one thing, but if you implement it like using the public lock script, then that's one thing that would make tree chat locked posts compatible on Xanadu for locked
mhm.
posts. So it's like that could be a separate feed or whatever. So I like the idea of like, here's the exclusive Xanadu feed, but then here's locks, here's twetches, here's whatever. Like
That's a really good point. And I think
Yeah.
too, like it brings up another point I'd like to make is like why did I choose the overlays and BRC 100 and all that other stuff.
Yep.
When we say like tree chats data and all that, like what like how and maybe this stuff exists, right? And maybe I just need to educate myself, but are there tools in that are in existence right now to where I can go pull, Twitch data, tree chat data, on top of that, like a lot of the overlay stuff and the BRC 100 stuff, I believe like the BSV Association is to a certain extent like maintaining. I don't, not I don't know if they're like paying for it or whatnot, but the
Mm.
all these um, implementations are being maintained. So I think that's too like why I chose this and when
Yep.
maybe I can get in contact with Tree Chat and Twitch, and if those things exist to where
Yeah.
I would love to talk to him about it and
So
talk about the
I
pros and cons of mine and
so that
theirs.
was part of the reason why I brought up Magic Attribute Protocol. Like if it's published in accordance with Magic Attribute Protocol, then it appears in all places. So that's the
See, so
power of that.
I need to
Yeah.
look into this. Okay.
Yes.
Uh-huh. That's
So that's
awesome.
that's another good one. You should talk to you can talk to Dimitri over at Tree Chat, who is an awesome guy, first of all.
I
But
watch
you can
every
also
Tree Chat podcast, so
yeah,
I
no,
do.
he's great. Like a lot of good ideas, just a good dude. And I like their interface and stuff too. I think Tree Chat is beautiful. But
Mhm.
you can also talk to Luke, who was the guy that created Map along with I don't know how many people know this, but it was sort of co-created with Siggy Oscarson, who's the lead dev on Terranode today.
Wow.
So Siggy, 5 or 6 years ago, was working on a lot of this same, like, he really cares about this use case too, like open social protocols. And so I don't know how willing he'd be to talk about that in particular, but he's a supporter fundamentally on this kind of thinking. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
love. It's important too to like look at the ecosystem of everyone else is doing or done. Like, so much
yeah,
people have done so much, and then they go on to do like other things within BSV, and
yeah,
it's always so impressive.
yeah, for
Like the
sure.
script. It's just crazy that's even like a thing. Like you can write Bitcoin in like JavaScript or whatever.
It
Like
is. It's wild. Yeah.
as Bitcoin script itself, like I've been developing like JavaScript, Python, C Sharp, like whatever. Bitcoin script doesn't make any like I promise. Like I don't know if I'll
It
ever
is.
be
It's
able to do
wild.
that, but as
Yeah.
long as it's in JavaScript, I'll have no problem using that. But
No, for sure. Do you want to? Is there anything else you want to show, or should I take down the
yeah,
screen share?
that's all.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no, for sure. Honestly, like I think the integrated approach. I think the way that we all win, and this is not just BSV people, but also people that just care about like self sovereignty on the internet, which is a lot of people. I mean, there's a reason there's a Rumble and a Truth Social and all these other places. Every time somebody gets canceled, they go start their own social network or whatever. But again, imagine if Rumble and Truth and Gab or whatever. You can go to Project Blue Sky if you want to get all the blue hair people in, but ultimately, there's when people all of a sudden feel the pressure of like I'm about to get canceled because my political opinion or my religious opinion or whatever has suddenly become very inconvenient. Then then they start to realize like, oh, like Twitter might not be my best friend or X might not be my best friend. And like I think in a lot of ways Elon Musk deserves a bunch of credit for doing what he's done with X, like turning back on people that had previously been removed and that
Mm.
kind of thing, like kind of planting a flag for the sake of free speech. I think was a really good step in the right direction. But as you said earlier, like there's a reason a bunch of the anti-Trump crowd or whatever was like, uh-oh, we got to get out of here, we're all going to get canceled next. So they kind of preempted their own exit in a lot of ways, even though I don't think any of them actually got censored from X, but they self-censored proactively. But again, imagine if all of those potentially millions of people we're all still sharing in the same database. Like I would love to have a dashboard where I can kind of click and say, okay, let's see what these crazy people are doing. Let's see what these crazy people are doing. Let's see what my tribe of perfectly sane people are up to. And then like,
Yeah,
you know, and again, because like the conversation is actually the thing that matters. Like I have, I've been arguing with people a lot about a bunch of weird political stuff lately too, and saying the same thing. I said it to a guy, like I was bickering about some other thing, and then he commented like, "Hey man, your turkey looks good on the smoke," because I posted a picture of my Thanksgiving turkey that I cooked on the smoker outside, and like he made the point, like somebody that I would have expected would have hated me. And he's like, "Hey man, that actually looks great." And I said, I bet me and you, if we were to be sitting across the table, wouldn't dislike each other at all. Like we would still disagree about whatever it is we're talking about, but the point is that that like we have this shared humanity that at the very least we're like we want food and water, we want to feel safe, we want to love the people we love and whatever else. And like when you can start to break down those walls that separate us, then all of a sudden we can start to have valuable conversations. Even like my biggest enemy in the universe has become the small blockers, because I keep calling them out for all of their malfeasances. But like
Mm.
I bump into these people in real life too. I go to like open crypto conferences and stuff, and they're like, "Hey man, like good to actually meet you." And then like we sit and talk for 10 minutes, and I'm always a little bit like, are they here to poison me? Or are they going to try, like, are they going to kill me when I turn around and say goodbye? And it's like, no, we're just people at the end of the day. And
Yeah.
somehow we got to like bust down the toxicity that exists when everybody's behind an avatar, or like, "Hey, I'm too passionate about issue X, Y, or Z." And but ultimately, like I think one of the main things that just having the data be open, and not just social data, I mean like all data, which is a little bit what my article's about this week too, is that hey, if we can start to say that we can actually discover the real truth of what happened and who did it and whatever else without the political filter, that maybe maybe we can all like turn down the temperature a little bit and end up being happy to be friends, even if we disagree about something that we're passionate about. So that's my big hope.
Absolutely.
I,
And
I don't know if there's a question there,
I
but
think like externally and internally too, of like the BSV ecosystem and outside of it, like um, we have this amazing tech, and I think there's all these protocols and stuff, and I think like we all need to like come together, and maybe these protocols need to like have a baby or something, but
yep,
um, like we're so close, and it's time for it's time for action, it's time for building, it's time to build the idea and launch it. The
yeah,
tech is there, and there's no more excuses. Like up uplift and give attention to people building, and with an impressive proof of work,
yep,
like yourself and the people at Gorilla Pool, or Project Babbage. Braden Langley seems like he's always he's got a new app almost once a week, right? So you know
Braden's good people too. Yeah,
yeah, these people, they exist and they're building, and one day at a time. Let's keep doing it, because it's how we win. We need to create the world we want to live in, and
yeah,
shouting at each other online, right? It's not going to get it done. We need to build and
yeah,
launch,
right,
listen to user feedback, iterate, keep going.
sure. So one of the things that somebody pointed out the other day, and in fact, I think it was Dimitri from Tree Chat, said that his issue with BRC 100 is
Mhm.
that the mobile, something about the mobile experience and why it is not great for an app to be able to log directly in. And basically, he said he needs some kind of API or something, because the something about it is problematic for mobile apps, and asked if like a miners or whatever would be willing to offer some extra service to make it viable in a mobile scenario. Is this,
Yeah.
maybe you
So
can
I think,
clarify, for because I don't remember
yeah.
what the details are, but
So, this happens a lot, even in BTC with like Xverse and these wallets, right? You see a lot of this.
yep,
Inter-app communication on like mobile, iOS, Android is very hard.
yeah,
It's not that secure, right? So like, say, you want to jump from like your MetaNet wallet on your mobile phone to like the Xanadu mobile app and back and forth. Like
right,
it's not that secure, and it's probably, I mean, maybe it will be soon, but it's probably takes a lot of
yeah,
heavy engineering. So the
yeah,
way they solved it, right, is let's just run the app within the MetaNet wallet itself.
Right.
So there's
So it
it's
has to be
basically like
desktop.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I mean if you consider like Safari within the mobile app,
Sure.
because like mobile apps have the ability to um, have a Safari web page within the app, so that's how it
Right.
can communicate back and forth. But all that's open source. So like, what does that mean for Xanadu? If Xanadu wanted to make a mobile app, or if TreeChat wanted to make a mobile app, you could actually like go look at all that mobile app code, right? It's all open source,
Yep.
and I could build like a Xanadu um, client, like an actual mobile app that
Yep.
doesn't use Safari at all, right? Like it could just hit the wallet server and do all those operations. But they wanted to Project Babbage and all like they probably wanted to build a mobile app to where all apps work. So I think that's why they chose it like that. I think
Right.
TreeChat, uh, their app is beautiful, and I think what he's thinking and like talking about is always important because he's thinking of like the right problems to solve, and
Right.
that's yeah, we need great
Yeah.
mobile experiences, and I'm sure soon. Um, I would estimate in a year, but with all this AI stuff, I think it could be done in 3 to 6 months, honestly.
Sure. Yeah. 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 I mean, if there's demand for it, this is what I tell everybody too. Right. Somebody asked me the other day, like, well, when's the IPv6 integration going to come to this and that so I can like tap to pay with my friends in person? I said,
Hmm.
how many people in your real life actually want you to tap to pay in,
Yeah,
like we'll solve the problem. It's not that the problem isn't solvable, but like what's the demand
yeah.
for that problem? So
Yeah, let's start filling
it's
the blocks first too. Like let's get those
yeah.
blocks full. Let's get the transactions per second or whatever above like 10, right? Like let's
Yeah,
go, like it's time to
for
go.
sure.
It's almost,
Yeah. Well, let me know, like for that kind of thing. If it's like, hey, if miners would just do this, like it would make my
Mhm,
life easier. Like,
mhm.
let me know, man. We want to help with that kind of thing. So, like,
Yeah,
if it's as simple as like, do broadcast this API, and I'll be able to do this other cool thing. Like, happy to do
yeah.
it.
We no, we for sure should have some conversations too, because all of those things, right? Um you could put like a payment middleware and like I could pass all the cost to the user, right? At like
Right.
1/10 of a penny or something. And
Right.
all of like your like what's on chain APIs and stuff, like I get rate limited because I'm on a free plan at like 3 per second or something like that.
Sure.
But like if Gorilla Pool had like a BRC 100 middleware to where like I could just make that handshake payment
Yep.
and get whatever I needed, and like I would use it everywhere because it's
Yeah.
better, it's cheaper than a subscription and stuff
Yep.
like that.
Yeah.
BRC 100 transactions, also called handshake transactions. I like to call them win-win transactions. Um, just maybe we're trademarking stuff there, but um,
That's all right.
I like to
Just
call
spell
them
it
those.
like Vietnamese. Make it like NGUYEN, NGUIEN for win win.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. I like that. I like that. I do. That's clever.
But no, that's yeah, that kind of thing. I think a lot of and we all do it, right? Like Jungle Bus subscriptions are what they are because it's like, hey, I don't know, this is what we think people need, and then what's on chain gives you the stuff they think they need, and then you have
Mhm.
BitTails, the same thing. Like, hey, we'll expose all these APIs, use them. But I don't know how many or how often app developers are actually reaching out to say, hey, like I need this, like give me
Yeah.
this, and we'll
I
use
need
it.
beef
So
endpoints. Beef. I
okay,
want to pay per beef request. If that's a thing,
yeah.
I would love that, to be honest. Pay per beef requests.
Interesting. Yeah, that's
Um,
probably, and again, like because we already have the infrastructure for Jungle Bus, like
mhm.
that's the hard part. So
Yeah,
it's like, hey man,
I try to keep all of my beefs and stuff within like the overlay, but like sometimes
yeah,
you know we're not there yet. So
yeah,
um, I like beefs, Merkle proofs, those two things, honestly.
yeah, cool.
Um,
No, that's good. I'll share the episode with our engineers and say, hey guys,
yeah,
here's some stuff that's needed. So we got about actually a little less than 4 minutes left already, but what is what is something else that you think people should know about Xanadu or know about anything else that you're up to? Like what are the best ways for people to, join in with the stuff like Thrill Arcade, Tool BSV, like who's your ideal customer right now, and what can they be telling their friends about the stuff that you're up to?
Yeah, I think the ideal person right now would probably be crypto natives, technical people,
Yeah,
developers, right? We have arcades, we have a an AI tool, we have a social media. Do you want to be a part of it? Like message me, right? All these apps take a lot of time now, and I think we're at a point now where maybe we can start distributing efforts across more people.
yeah,
What else? Get getmetanet.com. Check out all that BRC 100 stuff.
yep,
Check out Jungle Bus and all that stuff. Like I said before, uh, like these two different worlds are going to combine soon, and I think
yep.
that's why I think the next leg is after we pump out a million BRC 100 apps. But
Yeah.
because tokens are cool and they're fun, and there's no denying it.
No,
Yeah,
I agree. And it's funny because the world agrees too, right? Like
yeah.
even it like cash are tokens, first of all, but so is like all these people like professional traders and all like ETFs are just tokens and like
Mm,
your MicroStrategy stock is just a token, like all these things. And it's like all of this stuff really, both could be, but absolutely should be combined on a network where they can all communicate. I would love to pay people in, AT&T stock for, some other, here's my magic thumbs up again. But like that kind of thing, I think it's a setting on my
yeah.
actual physical hardware that I can't figure out. Like I turn it off and then it just makes its way back. I think probably when I update. But like all these things, if everything's on the same lowest level substrate, then everything is money. I keep
Yep.
saying data is money, but people keep it all siloed. And it's like, man, there's such a rich universe that is possible if everything is in the same substrate.
It needs
So,
trust and transparency just as that as like social media does and your identity in your wallet. So
yes.
I'm in total agreement there. And you know, Jungle Bus and friends and are gonna make it happen one day. So I'll be
Yeah.
there to see
We're
it. God
gonna
willing.
make it happen. Love,
Mm,
love it, man. And I appreciate you. I think just getting out there and building cool stuff. I love the aesthetics that you choose for things. I don't know how much Lex
yeah.
is involved in all of that.
Oh, absolutely. The colors and the branding and the that's all
Yeah,
Lex. So shout out
yeah,
Lex.
yeah. He's such a fun guy. I keep telling people like, hey man, if you need to figure your brand out or what your social media strategy is, Lex is probably the best guy, if not the best. Like he's top three.
Hmm.
So like top three, not just in BSV or crypto. I mean, just like anywhere. Like the guy is mimetic wizard.
Absolutely.
So
Completely
yeah.
agree.
So that's great. I appreciate you. Please hang out in the green room and we will record for the Rad TV exclusive version of the show. So for anybody that's doesn't know what Rad TV is, you're missing out there too. So thank you, Rad, for also publishing the super secret uncensored version of the after show. But John, thanks for being on the show. We'll see
Thank
you.
you.
We'll see you in the other one. But we'll talk soon.
Thank you, man. Stay golden. You're the man. Thank you.
I appreciate it. So, all right, everybody. That was John Calhoun. I really mean it. John is one of the good ones. So if you need advice on things too, John's another good guy to reach out to. If you're ever like, hey man, where do I get started? He's put himself in a lot of important conversations and understands how to at least help you get started. And especially if he can set you up with like Claude Code. And I tell everybody, the tools that are out there now make all of this so much easier. So if you have any idea where there would be extra value added by reducing payment friction or increasing data integrity, especially globally, that is like, I mean, BSV is there to absolutely not 10x, not 100x, but like 1000x your ability to reduce friction and increase data integrity. So I would encourage you to have your big idea and take it to somebody like John. You can DM me. There's a few other guys that would be very happy to help you with some basic implementation advice and really get set up with tools like Claude Code, which can take your idea from I don't know how to code or I don't know how to do it. And you can have an MVP inside of a few hours if you're just persistent and patient. And then you can hire a serious engineer to say, hey, is this thing that it output, is this crazy? And then pay somebody for like 10 hours of help instead of 1,000 hours of help to make sure everything is tightened up. So there's your opportunity, everybody. And thank you for spending the hour with the CoinGeek Weekly live stream. Every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is where I am, and I appreciate you for joining me. I appreciate the likes, the subscriptions, and everything else. And it has been really a delight to spend yet another year. We're probably only going to do 2 more shows, and maybe only one of them will be live for 2025. So tell your friends and maybe your enemies too. So if we can just keep having healthy conversations, then we can fix everything. I really believe it. People that are motivated to solve problems can and absolutely do solve the problems of the world. So thank you, everybody. I'm Kurt Wilkert Jr. This has been the CoinGeek Weekly live stream at CoinGeek.com. You can check out my articles and all that jazz for Tech Talk you can trust. Everybody was a little concerned I wouldn't be able to say the tagline live on the air, but I don't think I've screwed it up even once. So everybody, I'm Kurt Wilkert Jr. We will see you next week. And be good to each other, because if if we can't be good to each other, then what's the point? All the people that like to just cause chaos, well, that's it's mostly going to be a problem for you long term. So everybody, take care. I will see you next week. Goodbye.